Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Here we go. Paint Your Wild Spirit. That's the name of the course. It's an online painting course taught by artist Tammy Hudgen. The description reads, Paint Your Wild Spirit is the only online course that will teach you how to paint what sets your soul on fire. It's so much more than an online course. It's a journey into the soul of your creative practice. Give me 4 weeks, Wild One, and I'll take you from being scared of making the first mark on the canvas to free-flowing painting and mark making that will inspire you for a lifetime. This speaks to me. Since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been playing around with art, mostly art journaling. I've been reading books about creativity. I've been watching YouTube videos, following artists on Instagram. It's where I first came across Tammy Hudgen. I have filled pages of composition notebooks with paint and doodles. I've collected old atlases and filled those pages too, trying out the things I've watched on videos and learned from courses I've purchased. And I've accumulated supplies. I've bought nicer art journal notebooks, some better paints and paper. There is a whole flippin' world of art supplies. There are paint pens, Stabilo pencils, art crayons, gesso, matte medium, and I have those things too. And I've been playing around with all of it. It makes me happy. I haven't become any sort of artist by any stretch, but I do enjoy it, and I can see that whatever it is that I'm doing is evolving. I didn't set out to learn art things, it just sort of happened, and so it's strange to me. Not understanding it troubles me some, and I wrestle to figure it out. I've wondered if it's that quote by Picasso, every child is an artist, the problem is to remain an artist once they grow up. I don't know, is it an inner child artist thing? Is all this me trying to find the artist that Picasso says exists in all of us? I try to make sense of it because I'd like to think there's some legit reason why I paint so much and have all these supplies. A reason why what was supposed to be my home office has exploded into this room lined with bookshelves filled with paints and paper and brushes and stuff. So reading the description, something spoke to me. If there's an artist in here somewhere, the course sounded like maybe it would help me find her. The course is pricey, $600, but it says it includes 4 modules of full-on painting experiences with access to content for 13 months so you can work at your own pace. It mentions the video will include all sorts of techniques, color mixing, value, shape, contour drawing. I need all of that. There's a Facebook group for participants, and you get a tote bag too. Also included are 4 live Zoom calls for the first 4 weeks and 2 coaching calls 30 days and 60 days after the course begins. That I'm not keen on. Zoom calls are not my thing. But what is my thing is what the description promises the course will do. You'll untame yourself and rewild your approach to painting so that you can create the paintings you're truly meant to paint. This sounds really good to me. I really want to do this. So even though it's pricey, I sign up. And from the first video, it's fabulous. The videos aren't superly high produced. It's just teacher Tammy with her wavy white blonde hair and bright sweatshirt with a bandana around her neck and overalls on covered in paint. She's in her studio and she's enthusiastic but chill. There's no pressure to make a painting. She's just invited you into her process of big strokes of paint and scribbling. I follow along doing the same, and it's fun and messy and free. There's not much action in the Facebook group to start, but there is a post about the first of the weekly Zoom calls. The Zoom call. I'm not really down for the Zoom call. The tech, the link, will I get it to work, and then the whole camera and the screen. Not to mention I'm not looking to participate in any way. I like to work alone. I'm not a joiner. I feel awkward in settings where I don't know anybody. But I paid $600 for the class, so how do I not listen in on the Zoom call? I can just mute myself, keep the camera off, and just be there like I do in sales meetings. Maybe it'll be like a class lecture. It'll be fine. But when I log onto the Zoom meeting, there are 6 people there. 6. I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but it for sure wasn't this. And I am completely kerfuffled. I am in this room with 6 strangers. And with there only being 6 people in the meeting, I can't just click on end meeting and leave. So I turn on my mic, turn on my camera, and I smile. But this is not my thing. Teacher Tammy is just as she is in the teaching videos, earthy and welcoming. And after the hellos and I'm just so glad you're here, Tammy says she would like us to introduce ourselves and tell everyone a little bit about their art life. And she calls on me first. Hi, I'm Amy. I live in a suburb of Chicago. I'm a real estate agent. My art life is fairly new to me. I mostly art journal. My art space is in what was my dining room. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm here. Oh, thank you, Amy. It's so nice to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. And then the others introduce themselves, and they are all artists. Legit artists. There's not a composition notebook scribbler in the bunch. Cindy Sue is an energy medium and has had early success as an artist when she first began 10 years ago. As our class is starting, she is getting ready for a show of her work. Janet graduated from art school in the 90s and has been painting since she was a child. Helen has been making art her whole life. Serafina is a photographer and a tarot card reader. She comes from a family of watercolor painters, but she is an encaustic painter, beeswax, and pigment her medium. We are barely through the introductions, and I am like, what the flip am I doing here? I do not belong here. After the introductions, Tammy tells us we're going to do a writing exercise. We're going to free write in response to a prompt. And the prompt is, I want to let go of blank so I can blank. And so our Zoom meeting goes quiet, and all of us together, each in our little Zoom square, we write. And then we're asked to share, and everyone's game to do so. And what I notice is there's much similarity in what we've written. I want to let go of negative self-talk. I want to let go of my need to make a good painting. I want to let go of what others think of my art. I want to let go of the belief I don't belong. I want to let go of the feeling like a fraud. And there's common themes to this, so we can have my energy flow onto the canvas, express what's inside, express my love of people and animals, find whatever art is within. The exercise, our doing it together and sharing what we wrote, it's disarming, and I feel more comfortable than when the call began. Don't get me wrong, I feel completely out of my league, but it's that part of me that feels awkward in social situations that's relaxed. Making small talk with strangers is so hard for me. Talking about the stuff from the depths of my soul, that's my jam. We also paint together on the call. We grab magazines and tear out words and images that speak to us. We glue them down and then we mix paint right on top of everything. We're told we don't have to overthink anything, just let go and play, and we do. By the time our call comes to an end, I can't say that I feel like I belong in this class of artists, but this has been okay. And if this is what our Zoom calls are gonna be like, I think I can do this. The next week, it's more lessons. And I'm at a point in the lessons where I've moved from my art journal and have started working on a canvas and a couple of pieces of plywood I've gotten at Home Depot. I'm still making marks and gluing papers and scratching and scribbling. I've not made a painting, but I've started a lot of things. It's all mostly a mess, but there are some colors I like and some interesting marks, so it's a start. The second Zoom call, and Tammy and Cindy Sue and Helen and Janet and Serafina are there, and Tina and Melissa have joined this time too, and of course they are artists. Tina is a musician and songwriter. Painting is a newer art medium for her. Melissa is a dancer by profession, and painting is for her, she says, therapeutic. I'm mostly over my feeling I don't belong with this group, or I know I don't belong but I don't care because it just feels good to be here. There's another writing prompt, and with this one we discover we all have feelings of being too much. And I'm happy as a clam because I know I'm too much. This course, this group, it's pretty woohoo. Some might think it too much, but it's not too much for me. I love being in all of this muchness. Teacher Tammy has us going to the depths. It is more than a painting course, and it does feel like a journey into the soul of creativity. And it doesn't matter so much that the rest of the group are artists, because we are all, even me, wild spirits making the journey. By the third week, the Zoom call is the first thing on my calendar, a non-negotiable appointment with my fellow wild spirits. And through the course videos, I'm learning things, not just painting techniques, but creative advice too. Tammy talks about not getting too attached to things in your painting, especially in the beginning. Not all of it will belong in what your painting will become, she says. Sometimes a painting needs a bold move, painting over something you think you like. This makes no sense to me. I barely make anything I like. I can't imagine painting over something if I did. The last weekly call comes at the end of April, and I'm bummed these weekly Zooms are ending. In May, we have our first extra coaching call, and it's good to see everyone. The second one comes at the end of July. It's supposed to be our last one, but we decide we want to get together again sometime after the summer. That's what we decided. I paint all summer long. In early September, Tammy posts in the Facebook group, "I'd love to have a check-in. I'm thinking September 7th. Can you come?" Comments follow. Serafina says she'd love to come, but that time doesn't work for her. Tammy replies and asks if early or later might work. Tina says she'd love to attend and she's open time-wise. I comment Tuesday or Thursday would work better for me. Janet has a doctor's appointment. So Tammy says, okay, I'm calling it for next week instead, likely Tuesday or Wednesday. In the meantime, keep painting. Helen and Cindy Sue both comment, oh, we're so happy we're getting together. 2 days later, Tammy posts in the group again. Hello, beautiful wild spirit artists. I have deeply sad news to share with you. Our beloved wild spirit sister Serafina died today. I cry reading this, and I feel so much sadness. And to the people around me in the world outside of my Zoom square, what can be said? A person from my online painting class died. The Sunday after the news of Serafina is September 11th. It's a rainy day, kind of cold, and I'm glad I don't have to go anywhere. I'm home alone and I'm drawn to the canvas and the pieces of plywood I'd started at the beginning of the course. I am with my sadness, and though alone, I feel I am with my fellow wild spirits. What happened that day, what I felt, what I learned was the whole point in why I was wanting to tell the story, and then yet I struggled to put it into words. It was as I was painting on one of those pieces of plywood I had started months ago. I was painting over it, taking away the butterfly, the flower, removing things I liked and thought were supposed to be there. As I painted, I was thinking it odd to be grieving someone I'd never met in person, someone who was all but a stranger to me, except for being in a course together, via Zoom no less. And that's when it happened, this thought, this feeling. It just came to me. All this time, I thought I had taken an online painting class to find an artist, and didn't really know it until that moment that all of it had been a journey with my soul. I do not understand my art life, but my soul does. And the art, it is its creative play, and the joy I find in it a worthy enough purpose. And it was my soul who had journeyed through that course, and it had shared its most tender, vulnerable parts of itself, and the others there had done the same. I did not know Serafina, but my soul did. She was not a stranger. My soul painted and grieved that day, and my heart filled with the knowing our souls know no strangers. Thank you.